Knicks are moving on to the second round of the playoff. Knicks beat the Pistons in 6 games, and let's talk about how they did. Now, this game was actually a game of multiple games within itself. So what do I mean by that? The first quarter was like all Knicks. They were going crazy. They came out focused and firing. That's exactly how I expected them to come out. When you lose, especially a closeout game, when, again, you're the more experienced team, you know how to come back the next game and set it straight, basically. The Knicks did exactly what I thought they would do. They came out, they got a nice lead, they were hitting everything, they were the more aggressive team, and they made sure that the Pistons knew we're going to win. Then what happened in the second quarter is what happens to a lot of teams when they get a decent lead. They kind of let their foot off the brakes. It was that with the combination of the Pistons, basically, that's why I say a game within games, because the second quarter was like a completely different game. It was all Pistons. They were making everything. Malik Beasley was going crazy. They got all the defensive stops. They were the more aggressive team, and they were saying to the Knicks, no, we're going to win. And so in the third quarter, what did the Knicks do? They come out aggressive, focused, and it's like the same thing as the first quarter over and over again, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, every quarter was like a different game. So the Knicks get a decent lead. It might have been 10 or 12 or, something, like a good margin. And then what happens in the fourth quarter? We are back to the other game, and the Pistons go on a run now. They are the more focused team. They're getting all the stops. They're more aggressive. They're making all their shots. And now the Pistons have the lead again. But really what it came down to was what I kind of expected it to come down to, and which is why I tend to pick the more experienced team in a situation where I think the teams are even, or obviously the more experienced team is the favorite. Because experience matters. I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times. And who showed up in the clutch? Jalen Brunson. He's the clutch player of the year for the reason he makes all the big shots, and he hit the game-winning 3 in Asar Thompson's face, although he crossed him up, but you know what I mean. Asar Thompson was guarding him. When it left his hand, I knew that it was good, because you can just tell, there's a different level of confidence, especially in Jalen Brunson, who obviously is super clutch, but there's a different level of confidence. When you've been there before, you know what to do. I know some Knicks fans were probably panicking when the Pistons were up, I think 5 with 2 minutes to go. Was it something like that? So there wasn't much time left on the clock, but I'm like, no, I've seen this movie before. I know where this is going. The Knicks just have to get one stop, score one basket, and then the momentum is completely changed. I saw it coming. I knew it was going to happen, and it happened. But credit to the Pistons. They did not give up. They fought throughout the entire game, and they had a great chance to win this game. But unfortunately, Jalen Brunson, did his thing. Like I said, this game came and went in waves for both teams. So, I don't know that both teams... Well, okay, Karl Anthony Towns only had 10 points. He could have played better than that. Right? That's one thing. And then the same on the other side. I don't know how many points Dennis Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr. ended up with, but I don't remember them scoring much at all. I don't even remember Tim Hardaway getting any baskets, but he might have gotten a couple. But for both sides, certain players could have scored more points and, things like that. But again, this literally came down to the last shot. So whatever defensive lapses and offensive lapses that both teams had, they also made up for it with defensive stops and offensive, times. Shout out Mikal Bridges. He had a low-key, really good game. Nobody, I don't think, people who were watching the game obviously saw it, but, I don't think people realized he was, 12 for 17 from the field with, 25 points. It was, a quiet 25, I'll be honest. There were some big shots that he hit, but I would say a lot of his points were more quiet that, you didn't realize he had 25 or, 27 or whatever he ended up with. He was definitely big time for the Knicks. They needed all of his points, literally all of them. Shout out the Pistons, though, especially Cade Cunningham. I mean, this was his first playoffs. Did he perform the best throughout this entire series? Not necessarily. He had some really good games in there, but his composure, his poise, his not giving up attitude was really impressive for a first-time playoff performer. You could see Cade has that in him. He's gonna be a winning type player. He's not just gonna, want to go throughout his career and not win a championship and not make the NBA Finals. This man is going to work. He clearly has the work ethic. And Detroit's building something good over there. You know, it's especially hard to win when your players are so young. I am excited to see what Cade does moving forward because he has a bright future. And now we get Knicks versus Celtics, the matchup that a lot of people have been waiting for. I am ready for this. I will make a series prediction. Don't worry. Like, it will be a very fun series.